Welcome to Black Royalty Success Digital Media TV, where good work progress to be great work.
All right, we are interrupting this report to bring you this breaking news. A police chase is underway.
Let's go upstairs to Desmond Shaw live in Skycal for an update. Okay, we don't have Desmond tonight. I'm so sorry. But it looks like we do have Mike Rogers at the desk with some new information for us. Mike?
Yeah, so we're still sorting out exactly what the want is here, but this is LAPD's Central Division. Ooh, some sparks there going through the intersection. LAPD's Central Division is overhead chasing this. We've kind of crossed over the 10 freeway. We're now south of the 10 in the Boyle Heights area on Grande Vista and Garnett Street in this kind of residential area. John, if I can get you to put the speedometer up too so we can get a speed here, but we do have an LAPD airship overhead as well. Not going too fast, but certainly slower than the last one, which was at 130 miles an hour.
Right, the Dodge.
Oh, let's see what he's doing here.
Well, he's
out
pulling
on
over.
foot. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow.
Oh my goodness!
Wow.
And the car is still
Still
moving.
rolling.
Mike, what did you say the want was again?
That's what we're working on right now. We're working with LAPD to get the want here, but this is the Central Division officers, and you can see that spotlight staying with the driver. That's the one that they always want the most.
Right. So, but the driver is out of the car. Just wanted to make sure because that car was still moving, right, when they stopped.
Yeah, it looked like
they bumped another car.
Right. They didn't put it in park, and they just kept running. And now we're going through backyards here. You got the spotlight. At least 2 people here. Yeah. There were 2 more that got out of the car. We saw a total of 4. Helping his friend over the fence there. Looks like that actually might be a young woman, a girl that's running with him, but they're making some progress here getting through these backyards.
Okay, well, we've got LAPD. Do we see any units around? We know the ones that stopped the vehicle in the first place. Did they have other backup units in the area?
So far, no. And okay, so now we're in somebody's garage right here, or somebody's front porch at least, which the LAPD helicopter's already seen them. So, the bad news is when they kind of bail through those backyards like that. Oh, look, here we are. We already got an LAPD unit right there. Also from Central Division. So hopefully they'll be able to take these guys into custody here in just a second.
Yeah, it looks like they were at various corners of this chase when it came to an end and were ready to sort of respond to different corners of this neighborhood. But as we watch this, this is pursuit suspects on the run after a pursuit came to an end, and looks like 4 people jumped out of a car. We know at least 2 people went under this awning here, as far as we know, what you're looking at, and 2 others are on the run in this neighborhood. So obviously officers are going to different areas and trying to search for these suspects right now. What they normally do is they'll set up a perimeter around the area first when they actually accept or expect a foot chase, and they will surround that area with their tape so that they know that they can just hone in on that area that they're specifically looking into. But Pat, it looks like 2 suspects at least on the run here may be coming out. It's hard to tell.
That's interesting. I mean, they're just sort of walking out of this building. Right. We, by the way, are at South Dakota and Garnett Street in Boyle Heights.
Running again?
Now they're running. They're on the run. They look like young people. Yeah. And we'll still try, unless you have found out what the want is.
Just got it stolen. Okay. My colleague Orlando on the desk was able to confirm that with LAPD. This was a stolen car.
Okay, a stolen vehicle that they left still running, that actually they bumped into the rear of a vehicle that was parked in front of them when they pulled over. So whoever this vehicle belongs to, if they're watching this, I'm sure they couldn't be too happy about that, but at least they will get the car back. But in the meantime, as Susie has been mentioning, they are still trying to get these suspects in custody. It doesn't look like they have anybody in custody right now, Mike.
It doesn't, and they're really focused on the driver. So that's the thing, when you have so many people in the car. Looks like
maybe
those are officers, yeah. But that's what happens. You have 4 people in the car. They're focused on the driver. That's who the helicopter stays with.
Right.
And they, ran through the houses here, which kind of also makes it difficult. But they're not hiding very well. I mean, the LAPD still has eyes on them. What's interesting, though, is you had that unit that pulled up right in front of the house, but for some reason didn't make the connection that they were standing in the doorway there, and that gave them the opportunity.
And they were able to just walk out.
Right.
As if they were just. Now look at this. They're still climbing.
Roof or something.
Climbing and moving
in the backyard.
And this is another thing. I'm sure if you live in this neighborhood, you have to be very careful as well. Sure. Keep your doors closed, your windows, because we don't know much about these young people. We know that they stole a car, but we don't have any of that information. So the fact that they're on the run from police is, concerning in itself.
Right. Sure. And, just who knows, they're going to want to go into one of these homes, I'm sure, to escape and evade police. but it looks like they haven't been able to yet. As far as we know, we've been seeing them sort of jumping around different areas of backyards. So we do know that they are still on the run here, and police are actively searching for them as they set up this perimeter around this area, as Pat was talking about, South Dakota Street and Garnett Street in Boyle Heights.
Yeah, they seem to have them, I don't know if pinned is the right word, because as we're looking here, Mike, from your vantage point, I haven't seen them really leave the area.
No, not at all.
From our chopper.
And now, now you got people coming out of their homes seeing what's going on. But no, so we're in a situation now where, yeah, they are kind of cornered. You've got a unit here, and I'm listening to the LAPD helicopter set up perimeter points. So they're saying, let's get a unit here, 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 and here. And, even if they're not immediately in custody, now you've got enough people in place that they're not going to get out of the area that you've got them in. So we could see this, if they don't give up, we could see this turn into a canine search where they bring out the dogs and do that whole song and dance. Or, they could eventually realize the jig is up and kind of come up. And, these helicopters, you've got the night sun on it, but a lot of these helicopters, and I don't know specifically if this one is, also have FLIR. So even if they're under a tree, even if they're under something like that, you're still going to get those heat signatures, and LAPD still is going to know where they are, and now they're even in the alleyways. So now you really kind of got them cornered to, 3 or 4 houses here where they're hunkered down somewhere, but they're not going to be able to get out of that perimeter.
It still makes it very difficult, obviously, because we got 4 people on the run here, not just one person coming out of the car and, a couple officers chasing that same person, but they, went in all different directions. As we saw 2 of them together, but it's unclear if the other 2 are together or separate.
And they are concerned. I just heard the airship. One of them appeared to have a handgun.
Oh.
So that's going to escalate things more.
No question.
Which could also potentially be why that one officer didn't bolt right in the front door. If they think they're armed, they're going to sit tight and wait for everything to kind of get situated.
Well, we certainly see a heavy presence where they stopped this, where they pulled over. Pull that vehicle over. There's still a heavy presence there, but again, yes, they have certainly set up a perimeter. Do we have information, Mike, as to how this started? Were they on the freeway first?
So no, they may have been briefly. They were in LAPD's Central Division, which is actually the north kind of end of downtown. So probably they ran a plate, and that's how it all happened. I mean, we're working to figure out if this was what's called a fresh stolen and it happened right away, or a situation where they ran a license plate and that was the result of it. But we've got some more officers now pulling up here.
Yeah, and one just got out and was actually walking.
I wonder if he sees somebody.
We're talking about, the security level of how safe, a neighborhood might be. We're talking about pursuit suspects on the run and not knowing anything about them. Are they armed? What kind of mental, condition are they in? We have no idea. And now we possibly have word that one of them could be armed. So this certainly creates a little bit more concern for neighbors, as you were talking about, Pat.
Yes.
For them to be out there and perhaps going into one of these residences with that gun.
Well, let's hope that doesn't happen, and especially in young people. And come on, let's face it, their thinking is not necessarily as advanced in these kinds of situations. First of all, they stole a car, and there's several of them involved, at least. So they're sort of following the leader, if you will. We saw 2 staying together, running after one another. One we thought could have been a female. The driver, as Mike has been telling us, is what police are always particularly concerned with, because that's the person behind the wheel.
Right.
And obviously stole the vehicle, but he had companions with him, we assume.
And it's not for nothing. Everybody in that car ran, right? There are situations where, there's passengers in the car that say, hey, I didn't have anything to do with this. I wasn't the one driving. They took off. And the people that stay in the car, generally, unless they have any other wants or warrants, are the ones that get kicked loose. But when everybody scatters and runs, they're all going to get chased. Again, LAPD most interested in the driver, though.
Yeah, well, check them out. They've got their flashlights down there. Again, as I said, they are out of the car. We were talking about a concern possibly that they didn't jump out right away when we saw that first cruiser pull up and we saw the young people in the doorway, but either they may not have known those were the people they were looking for, or if they heard they were armed, that would cause pause, of course. But again, there's certainly some of them are out of their vehicles.
Yeah.
And they've got flashlights. And you know what? They don't want that canine situation to happen.
That's a real coordinated effort. I mean, LAPD, it's not one canine. They respond out with several of them, and, you know, they'll do a grid search inside the perimeter to be able to try to take these guys into custody. And, you know, we're in one of these kind of, you know, a little bit older neighborhoods here where it's hard. You have all these houses that are backed up to each other that are, you know, have an alley in between them without really a road. And then on one side, I think we've got like the freeway right there too. So the officers, you know, don't have a ton of, there's the freeway right there. So there's not a lot of like, they can't really get on all four sides of that house. So they'd be able to come into the alley here, but it's going to make the search a little bit longer.
All right, we're going to keep SkyCal overhead and bring you the very latest developments just as soon as we get them. But right now, 4 people on the run after a pursuit.
Thank you for watching our digital media, and thank you for your support.